Welcome to online class. I welcome my students to join with me to enjoy online class today. I welcome the students of class 9 and 10 of Sayaviti Society High School, Gachipur. And today I am going to discuss about right forms of verbs. And before going to discuss about right forms of verbs, we have to know what do you mean by right forms of verbs. Right forms of verbs means to write down the structure of verb correctly. And in your exam, you will find a passage with some main verb. According to meaning of the passage, you have to write down the verbs in the blanks correctly. And before doing right forms of verbs, we have to know about 4 important things. And what are they? First, you have to know, you have to earn complete idea about verbs. What is verbs? The pattern of verbs. And then you have to know, or you have to learn about tenses. And if you don't know, if you don't understand about tenses, it will not possible to complete the fill in the gaps with suitable verbs correctly. And thirdly, you have to know about auxiliary verbs. And finally, you have to know the meaning of the given passage. And if you don't understand the meaning of the given passage, it is quite impossible. It will be harder for you to write down the suitable verbs correctly. Okay, and now let's go to discuss about right forms of verbs on the board. And today I'm going to discuss about English second paper, topic right forms of verbs for the students of class 9 and 10. And right forms of verbs is an important chapter for the students of class 6 to 10. Today, I will discuss some important rules of right forms of verbs. You see, this is a sentence. This is a sentence. The sun, the verb on the bracket, the sun give us light. You see, the sun give us light. This is present indefinite tense. The sun is third person and singular number. In case of present indefinite tense, if you find the present tense with third person singular number, then you have to write down, you have to add s or es after the main verb. And this is important rule. The structure will be the sun gives us light. You have to understand the meaning of this sentence. You have to know the structure of the tense. This is present indefinite tense. In case of present indefinite tense, if you find the third person singular number, then you have to add the s or es after the given verbs. After the given verb. And this is one rule. Now I'm showing how you will find the question of right form of verb in your exam, in your question. Suppose fill in the blanks with suitable verbs. You have to change the verbs where necessary. And you will find a box, and you will find some verb here, and then you will find a passage here. For an example, you see, now I'm writing the passage. Once there dash a king who was fond of gold. Who was fond of gold. One day, while he dashed under an apple tree, you see, and this is a passage. Now how you will complete this passage with suitable verb? Once they are dash a king. Once they are dash a king. Once, this is a past tense. If you find once after time, there was once, then you have to write down a verb here, past tense. And you see be. Be means am, is, are, was, were, this, etc. And you have to write down here was. Because once upon a time there was a king. Here and you will write, you have to write down the past form of be. Because this sentence is past tense. Who was fond of gold? One day, while he dash, while he was sitting, use here sitting, and you have to write down while he was sitting. Why? Because the matter was going on. He was sitting. The verb was going on. It is past continuous tense. When a matter or anything was going, then it will be past continuous tense. And if a matter is going, ongoing, it is present continuous tense. So, and you have to write was sitting under an apple tree. An apple fall beside him. When he dashed the apple, it dashed into gold. Due to this passage mentioned here, past tense, you have to write here also past tense. Beside him, when he touched, T-O-U-C-H, it touched. You see, you have to write down here. When he touched the apple, it turned. T-U-R-N, it turned. It turned. The past tense of turn is turned. It turned into gold. Firstly, what did you see? You saw here how I have completed these passages. Basically, you have to understand the meaning of the passages. Then you have to write down, you have to understand the tenses. You see, I have mentioned here, if you find once upon a time, once, there was, long, long ago, you have to understand this passage is past tense. And the most verb will be past tense. So, once upon a time there was a king who was fond of gold. One day while he was sitting, the matter was going on. So, you have to add was or were, then verb plus ing. Was sitting under a tree, an apple fell beside him. But when he touched the apple, it turned into gold. And you will find the right form of verb according to this way. Now, I am going to discuss more rules. Now, I am going to write in another sentence. The mother said to me, I dash to market tomorrow. If you find the verb is go, and how you will write down, how you will complete this sentence according to the verb go. You find here an word tomorrow. If you find the word tomorrow or next day or following day, this sentence will be future indefinite. And what is the structure of future indefinite? Future indefinite structure is subject plus auxiliary verb shall or will plus V1 plus object. Then if you write down here go, then you have to add I shall go. Okay? You have to add shall or will plus V1. The mother said to me, I shall go to market tomorrow. And then it will be the future indefinite tense. And if you find a sentence including tomorrow, next day, the following day, you have to mention it, the future indefinite tense. The structure of future indefinite tense is subject plus shall or will plus V1 plus extension. Okay? I hope that my students already understood this. Now, I am showing about another structure. And now I am going to write another sentence. And this is a sentence. I dash the work already. I dash the work already. And if you find a sentence including already, yet, till, this kind of word, if you find a sentence with this kind of word, and the sentence will be present perfect. And what is the structure of present perfect? Subject plus have or has plus V3 plus object. And the verb, if the verb will be finish, then you have to write down the past participle of finish, finished. Finished. You see, have or has plus V3. Finished. I have finished. I have finished the work already. You see, this is also an important role. And if you find a sentence including already, yet, till, and this sentence will go to present perfect tense. And what is the structure of present perfect tense? Subject plus have plus has subject, have or has plus V3 plus object. And if you find the verb finish, and you have to write I have finished, have or has plus V3. Okay? Now I am going to show another structure or another role of right forms of verb. You see, if I were a bird in the sky, fly. Okay? Here, the sentence is, if I were a bird, I in the sky, and the verb is fly. And how you will write down this verb correctly? And you know that I have already taken a class about the structure. And if plus subject plus where, the second part of the sentence will be subject plus would plus V1. And if I were a bird, I would fly in the sky. And the correct form of the verb will be would plus V1. Would plus V1. You have to write would fly. Okay? If plus subject plus where, the second part of the structure will be subject plus would plus V1. And if you find the V1 fly, and you have to write down would plus V1 fly, would fly. And this is also an important structure. Now I am showing another structure. If you find it is high time, it is high time, I dashed the work. And if you find complete, and I have taken a class about the structure, and if you find it is high time, the verb of the second part will be V2, always V2. And what is the V2 of complete? Completed, C-O-M-P-L-E-T-E-D, completed. And if you find a sentence it is high time, the second verb will be V2 always. So you have to memorize this. You have to remember, you have to study hard at your home. Okay? Now I am going to another structure. Work fast, list. And if list, the bus. And if you find the verb miss, and how you will write down here, work fast, list, you should miss. Because if you find a sentence with list, and you have to, the second verb will be should or might plus V1. Here if you find the verb miss, then you have to write down should or might plus V1. And my dear student, and there are many structure about right form of verbs. Today, I hope and believe that I have completed more than 6 or 7 structure. So I believe that you all have understood this right form of verbs. And tomorrow and day after tomorrow, I will try my best to complete the rest of the rules of right form of verbs. Thank you very much.